It's a classroom in any town, USA. The hum of fluorescent lights, the impossibly slow tick of the clock, the squeak of chalk or whiteboard marker, depending on your age, as two dreaded words appear at the front of the room, a phrase that can send a shiver down a school-age spine. Pop quiz. You dig around in your desk half panicked, and there it is. Your one silver lining to an otherwise disaster of an afternoon. A pencil. Hexagonal, sunshine yellow, maybe with bite marks, maybe freshly sharpened. Its number 2 etched proudly near the eraser. And not just any pencil, but the one brand with the perfectly dark graphite, the effortless erasure, and the signature green ferrule. Before iPads, before Chromebooks, before even ballpoint pens, there was one tool every student could count on, and when the design is perfect, it hardly changes over 200 years. Here's a pop quiz for you, dear listener. One young man named Joseph Dixon, plus a busy port in Marblehead, Massachusetts. Subtract a stable job, add a restless mind, a stash of graphite, and a near-obsessive need to tinker. What do you get? And that's why this week's On Brand is on Dixon Ticonderoga.
We're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. And what's your favorite show? And it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
Hi.
What? You forgot how we do her? Hi.
I said, hi, I'm Jon.
Hi, I'm Jon.
Hi, I'm Marisa.
Wow, you've lost how we do everything.
I saw you giggle. I got excited.
Well, I was like, okay, first I'm just going to throw it out there. I'm coming off of like 4 days of a cold, so my voice probably sounds more masculine than normal.
This is like your phone voice
Yeah.
when we first heard you.
Al always says he loves it when he catches me on my work call voice, because I'll be out on the porch and have to make a work call, and I'll be like, hey, yeah, this is all right, well, let's go over the papers then.
Catching a friend in their work voice is a rare pleasure.
You know, they say a mother really never knows their child. Why am I going to cry already? Until she sees them playing with their friends from a distance, like without them knowing.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, that is so true.
It's
like,
why I'm always peeping on the playground.
That's why this week's On Brand is on
Binoculars. Still
After
got it.
117 episodes, we're in the mind melt. No, I'm glad that you did this brand, because I know there's people in the Discord that were barking for it. And I was like, girl, I ain't doing a pencil.
People were barking for it. And it's funny because I mentioned it by name to David and Al, and I said, do these words mean anything to you? Dixon Ticonderoga. These are words that, and this is how you know that this podcast is our destiny. We obviously have different things that are on our radar brand-wise that we just like felt very strongly about.
Yeah.
I've known the words Dixon Ticonderoga since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, okay?
I have not.
That is wild. David didn't know it. Al didn't know it. They were like, it sounds familiar. If you say it, I'll probably know it. I know something was written on the pencil. I'm like, Dixon Ticonderoga. Is nobody else like clocking their preferred brand of pencil? We all had pencil preferences, and we'll talk about this too.
Ours was just had to be a number 2.
It had to be
like
a number 2.
That was it.
Yeah.
Like you had to have a number 2 pencil to do the Scantron. I don't know if you're too young or
No, I looked at Scantron as a brand.
Okay.
The name of the brand has changed. It's now something else has been absorbed.
I can't
Yes,
believe
you needed a number 2.
Was Scantron the one? We also had one. It was like the teacher would like run out to like, she's like, we're having a test. And she'd run out and come back with this pile of wet tests. They were like printed in purple. Like they would print them in like the nurse's office.
I mean, probably, yeah.
Principal's office. Ditto faxes?
Were they kind of like purpley?
Yes, but they were like damp. The smell.
Heavenly.
Put that in a scratch and sniff. Put that in like a high scale cologne, Ditto fax or whatever it's called. I'm sure people will tell us.
Yes.
But ours were always like so new that they were like damp.
That actually, I was imagining more wet than I was thinking that they like were left on the grass and the sprinklers ran. But you're right. They had like a moisture to them that, yes, they were fresh and warm. You put them to your cheek on a cold morning. Oh,
well, mean, I didn't do all that.
I did.
And I may be combining that. Maybe that didn't need a number 2 pencil. But anyway, yeah, I just had yellow number 2s. I do not remember being connected to a pencil brand.
Did you feel strongly about a type of pencil? Because there was a type of pencil, and this came up in the Discord too. I'll go into it in next week's Off-Brand. There were some novelty pencils, like the Yikes pencils, where the wood of the pencil was a different color. They were kind of like having some fun with it. There were pencils that were commonly like the kind you'd get with a fun chunky eraser, like in a goodie bag, that had almost plasticky wood, and the lead was like so kind of soft and almost like bendy and like very unpleasant to use. I felt very strongly about that. If I got one of those pencils, it's getting snapped, it's going in the trash.
Listen, you're gonna make fun of me. One of my favorite pencils, Tree Branch. You would get it like the Nature Company.
Yes.
Like you only get them at a gift shop, I think. And now maybe you can probably get them.
I conned my mom into getting me one of those. But you know what? Bad news. When that needs a sharpen.
That is a tough sharpen.
It's not fitting into a standard hole.
Can I tell you, wait, am I supposed to make a joke there? Standard hole? No. We'll let that one go.
Okay.
For a while at my home for several years, I had a classic schoolroom drilled onto the wall pencil sharpener that had the dial that had like, it could fit like 9 different diameter pencils.
Where'd you get that? Because I always wanted one of those.
That was back in the day when you go to the thrift store, that's laying there for like 89 cents. And now like that's picked over, you'll find it at a secondhand store for
$79.99.
100%.
I would love, actually, you saying that, I'm considering getting one because
I'm sure they make
pencil sharpeners are always like, the amount of energy I spend looking for shit in my home has me on the moon.
This house, I wish we had a time-lapse camera on this house because you come here during the day.
Oh my God.
Sometimes I'll pop in unannounced. Like you guys may not even be here. I just like pop in and get one of my Cokes out of the fridge. And like it looks like this place will look like a tornado. We hang out every Friday.
Yeah, and it gets straightened up.
Usually, now we're deep enough into the children. Like you show up on a Friday, it may not be there yet. But most of the time, like Friday, it's like all clean. So I'm like, oh, the house is just always clean.
I try to, like when David gets home from work, and sometimes I put it in the kids. I'm like, we need to have the house looking nice before Daddy gets home, because I went around and I didn't even know where to start yet. It was making me laugh. I was going room to room and I just took pictures of every room because I thought this will be sweet. Sometime when I'm like looking back at when my kids are grown and won't call me back, I'll like look back on this and go, oh my, remember when the house, I go in the bathroom, the water is nearly overflowing. It is dyed with food coloring. So it's like
your
neon
bathtub
yellow.
is another world.
I introduce a couple things that are controversial. I introduce food into the bathtub because I can't get my kids to sit down and eat for a goddamn meal. I may have mentioned this before. I do a thing where I'm a funny lady and I throw vegetables and fruit at them in the bathtub and they eat. It's like I come in and I go, and I throw like blueberries at them.
That's funny.
In the bathtub. And then they eat them all and then they go, Mom, there was just a weird lady here. She threw fruit at us. And then they're like, do it again. And so there's like watermelon rinds. Then
I'm raising my hand because I need to pause this for a second. You have been repulsed by some things I said that I consume at times.
Yes.
You're feeding your children out of their own filth water.
Bath fruit, yeah.
Bath fruit.
They're fish and blueberries out of the bathtub.
I just think it's funny that you will feed them out of filth water.
Sure.
But no, that's great. That's
fair.
cool.
Yeah, it's absolute mayhem. So the idea of a pencil sharpener, like if I could screw more things to the wall, I think that would actually be very appealing. A pencil sharpener permanently like screwed into the wall is of high appeal to me right now.
I highly suggest it. And a permanent bottle opener. I don't even open that many bottles, but a wall bottle opener is great too.
I would love, a wall of things that are commonly misplaced, tethered to the wall if it needs to be a long string. Like for example, scissors. I get like a pack of 12 scissors every 3 months and somehow they disappear. I will put a scissor on the wall with a 12-foot string if you need scissors.
You're going to be like one of those places where like everything has a yardstick like taped to it. Like you go to some weird bathroom in a gas station, they're like, here's the key. And it's like
a spatula.
Yeah.
You know what we had in school, speaking of school, a toilet lid. Like a toilet seat with a lid. For the bathroom key, yes.
That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, right?
Yeah, you have to carry that around. What about the weaker children like me?
I was thinking just how humiliating it is to like, you have to like take a crap at school and now you have to like carry it.
And the dumb kid doesn't realize that's not the bathroom, so he just goes in the hall and sits on that.
It's really embarrassing.
It's really embarrassing.
You're probably not allowed to do that anymore.
I gotta say, I am not a fan of the things that bathroom keys. Like I
Yeah.
feel like that thing itself becomes so disgusting. It's like
yeah.
I'm touching that as like tink tink as possible.
I agree. And they always look so gross.
I usually just leave it in the door. Like when I don't bring it in with me. As little contact as I can. I unlock it and just let it dangle while I pee.
I mean, I really will go so far out of my way to avoid using any kind of public bathroom. We talked about this on Doughboys episode. I got some flack for it. I can't believe cars don't have toilets. I feel like at this point,
I can't believe you got flack for that. I mean, why wouldn't everyone want to drive around in their own urine and feces?
that's not the point. The point is that in
That
this era
is the point.
where cars do everything, that the most Lady Gaga herself, if she has to pee and she's on the road going to the next venue
She's
in a limousine,
She has a bathroom she's in a
RV.
Yeah, she's in a trailer.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll put that technology in a car so that Lady Gaga or the common woman.
Wait, do people like Lady Gaga still travel by trailer? They probably fly everywhere, right? She's not like on the road.
Are tour buses?
Are tour buses still a thing? For smaller, sure.
Yeah, or equipment maybe. Those you're not gonna like send a bunch of drums through like
No,
a
Taylor
baggage
Swift
claim.
iconically paid her traveling stage very well.
Really interesting. Yeah.
You didn't hear that?
No.
You didn't hear that?
No, where am I hearing? How well Taylor Smith?
Oh my God. Oh my God. You're the news lady. Ow, insert the clip.
I did that
Ow.
last time too. I
Insert
called
the
her
clip.
Taylor Smith.
Taylor Smith. You're the news lady that called her Taylor Smith. Yeah, she did the Eras tour, which I don't know if you know the Eras
I've
tour.
heard of that, yeah.
I saw it 3 times. So it was such a huge tour. When she was in Cincinnati or wherever, there's a complete second set at the next city setting up, so she can.
Okay.
There's just always one bouncing, and her like I don't know what they're called, transportation team. Roadies? I don't know if that's right. Whatever they're called, they worked so hard. She gave them all like $100 to $150, $200,000 tip with like a letter saying just how much she appreciated them.
That's great.
And for these people, like, I mean, that's life-changing amount of money.
for sure.
So many artists don't even acknowledge it. So that's what Taylor Smith did.
You care about when artists acknowledge the people behind the scenes.
And we'll get to that when I talk about Lady Gaga,
Okay.
which I may not do on the show, so I'll just say it now. At the end of her concert, which I recently saw, she did full credits at the end of it.
I love that.
Screen of credits, like you're at a movie.
Why not do
Why
that?
not
Why not?
do
I
that?
always feel really proud, and I judge other people. You know, at the end of like a play, where they go like, and the people in the booth or the whatever, the light, or I give it my all, and then people are already reaching their purse. I'm like, how dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
I did. When I first moved to LA, I felt like we had to sit through once I started working in the industry, I felt like we had to sit through all credits of films.
To acknowledge the entire team.
Like, these are my people, so I see you, and I want you to know that. I've kind of lost
the kid
that.
is there sweeping up the popcorn. You're like, excuse me. You wouldn't have a job if it weren't for these 300 folks.
Yes,
so you
exactly.
sit and you watch their names.
Yeah,
You
watch
read them
all.
aloud.
Yes. Yeah, I did. I don't now.
Shall we chat pencils?
I mean, should we get into it already?
I don't know. Do you have anything else to talk about? Do you have any other pencil thoughts? My sister stabbed me with a pencil as a kid, and I still have a scar.
Really? From
Yes,
a pencil?
From a pencil.
Can you get lead poisoning? I hope I learned that.
I'm about to blow. Okay, pull the heck over.
Pull over?
Pull
This is
over.
a pull over episode? I'm feeling pencils. We're going to clip. We're going to clop.
I'm just about to say, I'm just going to offer one bombshell. Just stay pulled over the entire time. I'm about to offer a bombshell that will blow everybody's mind, as it blew mine. Pencils have never, not once, any time in history contained lead.
The reason I'm not reacting is because when you said that, my soul left my body. I was a shell of a human being. I can't believe what you've told me is real. I can't wait to learn more about that. I guess I'm ready to get into pencils. I was going to talk about very briefly talk about my super Hollywood weekend. I will do that on Off-Brand.
Great.
So
And Lady Gaga as well.
Lady Gaga's part of that, but just in the Cliff Notes version, the weekend that I just had before I got sick, Friday, thanks to my wonderful friend, our friend Shep.
Yes.
Fan of the pod, gave us a pair of Gap socks on our first episode because we did the Gap. Like, such a lovely man. Gifted me a ticket to Lady Gaga. I somehow, because I'm John, weaseled my way into VIP access. So Friday night, I'm VIP at Lady Gaga. Unbelievable night. I can't even describe how great it was. But again, I'll go into that more on Off-Brand. Or no, I already did that on Off-Brand because Off-Brand's going to come out. So
right.
I already talked about that on Tuesday on Off-Brand.
Go back in time.
And then Saturday, I found myself at a celebrity game night.
You can't say who, can
I'm not
you?
going to say
No.
who. My basic instincts are telling me not to say who it was. I'm going to slowly cross my legs and think about if I should reveal that.
And wait, I forget. Are you wearing panties today or no?
I don't have panties on, but I'm still going to cross my legs. And maybe I'll tell you later. And then had a barbecue at your house on Sunday. It was like such a perfect Hollywood weekend. And then got sick for 3 days.
If you leave a weekend like that without a cold, you're doing something wrong.
I know. And I had to share it quickly on the pod because, come on, if not here, where?
If not here, where?
But now, after that glorious weekend, let's talk pencils.
Good point. Touche. Well, John, the word pencil is partially derived from the Latin word pensillus, which means little tail.
That seems like a disease. I'm sorry to tell you, you have pencillus. Girl, I know.
It would be your penis fell off is from pensillus.
My penis is a pencillus. You said little tail? Yeah.
Mr. Gecko, you're a huge inspiration to us all, but who was your muse?
My dear old Nan. She would tell me, always remember to be true to yourself and to use that fast and friendly claim support on the Geico app. I follow her advice to this day.
Get more than just savings. Get more with Geico.
So pencils in some form as a writing utensil, sure, people have been scratching into things with something for a while, if you want to define pencil that loosely. Pre-1500s, people are using styluses made of lead, bone, or metal, scratching onto papyrus or parchment or wax tablets, but nothing would be like what you think of it, where it's like a strip of a string of graphite encased in like a string in wood.
Yeah,
that comes later.
It seems like it would have been centuries of found object scratching another thing.
Yes.
I am curious when someone was like, I want to stick this thing into this thing, which doesn't seem possible, but it should happen.
Well, like you're saying, when noticing that something could like make a mark on something else, that could be useful. 1564 in England, a massive pure graphite deposit was found. So locals noticed that it left a dark mark on paper without smudging as badly as charcoal. They originally used...
They noticed that.
They were like, I just noticed something. Can I mention this? Do you guys... You were friends, right?
They noticed it.
They initially used the big chunks of graphite wrapped in string or sheep's wool to keep their hands clean. And they would use it like, it wasn't filed to be like a writing utensil. It was like, they would mark sheep with it or use it.
So they just have like a boulder in a sweater and they're just
Yeah.
rubbing it around on things.
Yeah, so that tells you why nothing really happened for another 50 years.
50 seems short back then.
Sure, yeah. In the 1600s, we start to shape the stick. So 50 years carrying around a hunk wrapped in a sweater. 50 years later, we start to shape the stick. Craftsmen in England began sawing graphite into sticks, encasing them in wood, which is usually cedar, which is still the wood that is most commonly used in pencils today, fine quality pencils.
I
Love
a cedar box.
Oh.
Ever since, I mean, that was also a souvenir favorite. You go to Hilton Head Island,
Sure.
you get a little cedar trinket box.
How little we talking? Like itty bitty for like little baubles?
Like a slice of a shoebox.
A slice of a shoe, a third of a shoebox?
Like a third of a shoebox.
Yeah.
Flatter than a shoebox.
For all your laboobos.
Got
No,
little
too small for a labubu.
Too small and more for like a little sand dollars or shells that you find on the beach.
I told you this, but that my daughter, she had heard about labubus somewhere like in the culture.
Not on the pod.
Not on the pod.
Wow.
Somewhere in culture, it had crossed her path, which is interesting because we do keep her quite sheltered. But she she was telling me a list of things she wants, like pens and journals and things like that. And she goes, "Oh, and I also want an oogala boogala." And I go, "A what?" And she goes, "An oogala boogala. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. They're really hard to find." And I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Oh, you mean labubu?" But I love oogala boogala being a name for a knockoff labubu.
That's a good name.
Labubus are out, by the way, right? Are they done? Is it already over?
Ask Stephanie and Tiffany. I don't know.
Okay.
They're the ones with the finger on the pulse.
I feel like now there's just like a laundry bucket full of them at Goodwill, like one of those big wheeled in things.
I don't think they're that far off yet. I
Yeah.
definitely get a lot less TikToks about them.
Fads really fade fast these days. Fads fade so fast, and pencils take a long time to invent.
I love that. That fast fading fad, though, say that 5 times fast.
I wouldn't even dare.
That fast fading fad, though, took 10 years to get to that boiling point.
Exactly.
And then
That's
it's
true.
like, psh,
It's just over. It's just over.
half of our people have pulled over and looking at their Labubu like, they're like, they told me to get one.
We explicitly told you not to
Yeah,
get one.
we don't
We're
even
on the
have
record.
one.
So the earliest version of pencils, they were difficult to make, so they were expensive. They were hard to come by
Well, yeah, I would think they'd be hard to come by.
because they were handmade. And England guarded its graphite mines very closely, so they had a monopoly on graphite. So they were quite expensive and not really being traded. Now in the 1700s, continental Europe, they didn't have pure graphite. So the inventors mixed powdered graphite with clay and fired it in kilns to make pencil lead. So the term lead, it's unclear really like when that misnomer kind of was created. Some people said like, oh, the graphite was mistakenly called lead and like they just kind of went with it. But it was so shocking to me because what we were told as kids, and I was stabbed with a pencil, and I feel like my mom took me to the doctor to get checked for like lead poisoning.
I'm sure she did.
Because the word on the street in childhood was they used to make them out of lead, but then like they realized kids were getting lead poisoning, so they changed to graphite. That is what I had believed to be fact. If I was on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I would have lost the big prize.
Wow.
Because I was shocked to learn.
confident in it.
I was that confident. Yeah, and
I think we all were.
if you're listening, I mean, yeah, I hope you're pulled over. Otherwise, your whole family has perished.
There is a list of things that we have been lied about. You know what? Gum doesn't stay in your tummy for 7 years. You know what? Walking under a ladder is just walking.
Crossing your eyes, they won't stay that way.
Step on a crack, your mom is fine. Can you imagine how many mothers would have broken backs? Oh. Right now we're in the middle of the pod. You're like, oh.
Darn crack. So this method of mixing graphite with clay was kind of perfected by Nicolas Jacques Conte in France in 1795, which allowed pencils to be made anywhere and be in varying levels of hardness. So the harder a pencil is, the lighter it is, and the softer the lead is, or the graphite. It's called lead just commonly in the business. So if I say lead, don't get confused.
All right.
It's always going to be graphite.
That was 1795.
That was
so
1795.
We're
So now, like,
202 years away from the movie of Titanic.
They're still kind of starting to get on the scene as Titanic is just a glimmer in the boat designer's eye. By the 1800s, they started to be more mass-produced. As literacy rates grew, so did demand for affordable pencils.
I love things that are super cheap now, like knowing their journey. Like salt now, it's like you could get free salt for the rest of your life. Like nobody's paying a lot for salt.
That's such a good point. If the price of salt goes up, we're screwed. Or like rice. Like I got like a 40-pound bag of rice from Costco for like $4.
Yeah.
It's
I couldn't even
unbelievable.
tell you what a pencil costs these days. You don't have to buy pencils. We have enough
No.
pencils now to last us forever, I assume.
You think we have enough pencils to last us forever? Mm-hmm. When was the last time you bought a pencil?
Interesting question. Interesting
Okay.
question.
Why? Does Home Goods sell pencils?
Wait, can we pause?
Sure, always. Okay, John is returning from his car, which is an extension of the storage unit. If you live in Los Angeles and you can see where John's parked, you'll get a sneak peek into this madman's mind.
Interesting question. As we all know, I love my Facebook Buy Nothing group.
We do know this, yes.
Like a month ago, someone posted on there, does anyone want all these vintage pencils? And I said,
Okay.
sure. I never got around to picking them up. The guy wrote me this week and was like, I still have these if you want them. So yesterday, I went over and picked up all these pencils. Don't look at me like, why? But I just wanted to go through them. Look at all these cool pencils. So it's been a while since I've bought a pencil.
Is there a Dixon Ticonderoga in there? Look at all the yellow pencils, see if you can find one. I'm sure there is.
We'll look for one and try to take a picture with it. But man, I love that smell of like wood and not lead.
That's okay. This box of pencils is the size of a shoebox. If we're using shoebox as the
This is
national measurement, it's almost the size of a countertop pebble ice machine.
Yeah, no, but I'm not going to keep this on my counter. I'm going to go through this, see what I want. I mean, I just found a gold pencil. I mean,
Okay. What are you using the pencils for?
What do I use anything for?
Great question.
What do I use anything for? But these are my adventures. Other people go on trips. I go down the street and get other people's trash.
That's great. That's great. So just to kind of set the stage where the culture is at, pencils are still most popular in Europe because that is where there is the most graphite. That's where the pencils are just like the most popular.
Can you explain graphite? Did you already, it's like when you said they found like the world's largest like graphite thing, is it just like
It's a mineral. So
it's just a mineral.
Yeah, the side of a mountain, a graphite, what do they call it? Like a ribbon or something of graphite. So it's in the ground in the earth.
Okay. It's like Earth is like all of a sudden a Ben & Jerry's pint and there's like a graphite ribbon.
I am on a big Ben & Jerry's kick right now.
Really?
Yes.
What flav?
Well, I mean, gosh, I've had a lot lately. Cookies and milk, which is chocolate chip cookies, or a lot of cookie mix-ins and a lot of which they all are, cookie mix-ins and ribbons. The Tonight Dough, Jimmy Fallon's greatest contribution to the world and the culture, is not his career.
Definitely not his comedy.
Ice cream.
No, he's great.
The Tonight Dough is a fantastic flavor. Okay. It has like cookie dough and like Oreo ribbons of like crunched up chocolate cookie. There's so much going on in a Ben & Jerry. Like your spoon digs into something and you're like, it's like will be the size of like a golf ball. And you're like, I don't know what I'm about to bite into.
I feel like I'm constantly disappointed in the mix-ins. I'm
Really?
always getting not by Ben & Jerry's.
Okay.
Just whatever I buy. I'm Charlie Brown. I'm just always like, mwah, mwah. There's like no ribbon.
You'll be like, I thought there'd be more ribbon. Or like a little too much ribbon.
You could never have to have too much ribbon. I could get Oops All Ribbon and I'd be like thrilled. Just a pint of caramel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then Ben & Jerry's is there's like more mix-ins than ice cream. You're like trying to find ice cream to like wash down the cookie dough.
I have to stop getting Trader Joe's.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Okay, so pencils are not really on the scene in America yet. They're not the most popular writing utensil. And now we're going to go into the story of, I'd say a man, but really the story starts with a boy who's only 13 years old. He was born in 1799 and his name is Joseph Dixon. So he lives along the waterfront in his native town, Marblehead, Massachusetts. And this was the scene of his inspiration for his lifelong work. He spent quite a bit of time at the harbor watching ships arrive and depart from Marblehead's busy port. So I'm going to set the scene for you. So we're at a busy port in Marblehead, Massachusetts. The gulls are squawking. The horns are blaring.
Oh, I don't have to do things. Al can
put it in.
Off-brand, we have to do our own sound effects.
That's true. That's true. We don't have the budget for sound effects for that.
Squawk, squawk.
So you have squawking, you have horns, you have clamor, you have ropes, chains, whatever sounds you might hear.
Pier sounds.
At a busy port in 1799. Well, actually, this year he was born, 13 years after 1799. Autumn 1812 in Marblehead, Massachusetts. The smell of salt clung to everything. The wind was sharp, tugging at the wool coat of 13-year-old Joseph Dixon as he stood barefoot on the edge of the harbor dock, watching the slow return of his father's ship, the Hannah Gray. He had watched dozens of ships come in like this, sails sagging after weeks at sea, barnacles clinging to the hulls like ghosts. But today felt different. Okay, so for this to make sense, you have to know that a ballast is weight added to a ship to prevent it from tipping.
Of course.
Okay, you knew that?
No.
Okay, well, now you know. And typically, they would be used with like stones to prevent the boat from tipping over.
That's good to know.
Ballast stones again, he muttered to himself. The crew shouted and hoisted as they began offloading crates of tea and silk from the Orient. But what caught Joseph's eye were the dock hands at the bottom of the hull, shoveling out great heaps of what looked like dull gray rocks. Dust clung to their arms and floated into the morning air. It wasn't stone. No, not this time. It was too fine. It almost shimmered. He crept closer. "Keep back, Joe!" one of the crew called. "That stuff's not worth a rat's tail." This stuff's not worth a rat's tail. Just ballast graphite. Graphite? He'd heard the term, but never really seen it. He watched as the men dumped the piles off the dock, letting them fall uselessly to the tide like yesterday's trash. So much waste, he thought. He crouched down near a chunk the size of a potato and picked it up, rubbing it between his fingers. It left a dark, streaky mark against his palm. Instinctively, he reached into his coat and pulled out a crumpled pamphlet he'd been using for notes. On the back, with a piece of the graphite, he drew a quick sketch of the dock itself, the hull of the ship, the piles of black powder, the silhouettes of the men. The marks were bold, smoother than charcoal, sharper, and it didn't smudge like ink. He murmured. I wonder. Behind him, his father barked orders, but Joseph's mind was far from the harbor now. He was imagining something more permanent than ink and quill, something portable, durable, something better. What if this dust could be shaped? What if it could be held in a hand, steadied by wood, sharpened to a point? He pressed harder with the lump and left a bold streak across the paper. A voice behind him startled him. "Joe!" his father snapped. "That mess'll stain your hands for a week. Go wash up!" But Joseph didn't move. He was staring down at the page. And in that moment, with the breeze tugging at his coat and the tang of salt on his tongue, he could see it. Not just a sketch, but a future. The graphite wasn't waste. It was a tool. Perhaps a new kind of writing instrument. A pencil. He didn't have the words yet, of course, but the vision was planted, firm and fixed like the keel of a ship cutting through water. Years later, that spark would fuel a lifelong pursuit that would change the way Americans wrote, sketched, and learned. But for now, he just looked down at that dust on his fingers, a smile creeping across his face. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
That really put me there. Now I know how the pencil came to be.
So that day at the docks, seeing that graphite sparked something in Joseph Dixon that never left his mind. He developed a lifelong obsession with pencils.
Okay, there's worse things to be obsessed with.
At age 13, he started to create his first pencil prototypes by baking the graphite in his oven at home. And then finally, with the help of a chemist and a cabinet maker, Dixon fashioned his first crude pencil. It wasn't the world's first. As we know, they had gained some popularity in Europe, but it wasn't popular in America in early 19th century, where quills were still the number one writing utensil. So Europeans, as I mentioned, they had been refining pencils since the 1500s, but Dixon didn't grow up with pencils. So for him, this was pretty new, and to him, this was kind of a novelty. It didn't really have a market. But Dixon did not give up. So the War of 1812 stopped the British import of graphite. There was not a demand for pencils at the time because Americans, they weren't really ready for it. But Dixon, he was obsessed and fixated on bringing pencils because he believed that they had the potential to change the way Americans write forever. So while there wasn't a demand, he had his prototype. There wasn't a market for him to launch into some kind of business with this. He studied other things like printing and medicine and chemistry, but he always had pencils in his mind as the thing that he wanted to make his mark on the world, so to speak, pun intended. 10 years after his first introduction to creating pencils, he was 23 years old. He married Hannah Martin, who's the daughter of the cabinet maker who helped him with his first prototype. How cute is that? I mean, you're already seeing a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Timothy Chalamet aged down via CGI.
I love it.
And then aged up at 23. So the early attempts at the pencil, they had the same resistance. No one seemed to want them. Experimenting with the graphite, they stumbled upon something that was more viable, something that had a more common use that people would understand, which is stove polish. So he realized that he could use this graphite that he was using for his pencils as a very effective stove polish, which there was a demand for and there was a market for. It's similar to Play-Doh, how it was used to clean wallpaper. Right. So people are like, we have quills, we're fine with them. We don't need pencils, but stove polish, that is something we always need. So great. So now he's able to use graphite, something to kind of help him make a living. So it was marketed as Dixon's Stove Polish. It became a hit across the country, and it helped to bankroll his dream of pencils, pencil production.
Wait, so how does it clean a stove?
It's like kind of abrasive, maybe. It's like a paste.
It doesn't mark on the stove?
No, I mean, at that time, stoves were made of like cast iron, so it could effectively like scrub cast iron without like damaging it.
Yeah.
Even with, as time went on, better tools, better production, pencils were still kind of his side project. He got a lot of success creating crucibles, which I never heard. Do you know what a crucible is? I know the play.
I know the play. I never saw the play.
You didn't?
I know the name of the play, The Crucible.
Interesting. It's about witches.
Yeah, I thought it was about something like occulty.
It's about accusing girls of witches.
Wasn't Demi Moore in The Crucible? Is that
I don't know.
the substance?
That's a different podcast.
There's a lot of podcasts that
I'm sure there's a
know
podcast
that.
about the crucible. So crucibles were vessels, graphite vessels, that were used to melt metal. So they were so strong that they would not melt even if they contained like boiling hot metal. You looking up if Demi Moore was in the Crucible?
She was.
Okay, great.
Oh, wait, is that her?
Oh, God.
God. Or is that Winona Ryder? It's Winona Ryder. In the picture, it could have been Demi Moore.
At that time, all those ladies looked very
1996,
similar.
1 year before Titanic, it could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody.
Except Kate Winslet, because she was busy
She
doing
was in pre-production. She was getting fitted.
She's, going through a lot. Uncomfortable with her body, but wanting to really... Is this her time to rise as a star?
Can she go topless?
Can she go topless?
In a PG-13 movie? Okay.
I'm willing to do whatever you say, Jim.
So the crucibles, which is a graphite vessel used to melt metal, became his real breadwinner. This is apparently, there's a huge market for this. People are melting metal all the time for steel production because there's the Mexican-American War going on in 1846. There's a boom in U.S. iron and steel production. So you need these big, heavy vessels made out of graphite to hold melted steel. It's like so irrelevant to how life is now. Maybe crucibles still exist.
Maybe for you. You don't have a crucible? I'm picking one up today on Buy Nothing.
Nothing would surprise me less.
Used crucible. Can you just drop that off at the unit, please?
Gently used crucible. So he moved his factory in 1847 to Jersey City, New Jersey. He scales up his manufacturing of crucibles, stove polish. He's still dedicating a small part of his production to pencils.
How the hell does this end up being a pencil? This guy's everywhere but pencils.
He's very determined, which, I mean, the gumption on some people. And we always talk, we're like, how quickly we would have given up. If it's like, I would have set up one day of pencil sales, like my pencil stand. And if I didn't sell any pencils, I'd be like, well, I guess we're just not going to get pencils in America.
Yeah, we'll
I'll move on to something else.
Go hungry. I would think like maybe his jobs would have been like he was somehow like a deforester, like he cut down trees or like, worked with the wood and then like fell asleep and fell and some of the graphite stuck in the wood and then something. Something
like that. No, he was just a man who saw a need for a new writing utensil that nobody else saw. And so these are the numbers for his first year in business at his new operation in Jersey City. By the end of his first year, he had made $60,000 from crucibles.
Okay.
So is that adjusted for inflation? If it was, he would have made $2.5 million from crucibles and lost $5,000 or $211,000
in pencils?
In pencils. So either way, whether it's $5,000 or $200,000, he's in the hole on pencils.
I mean, you know what? I'm thinking The Crucible 2. Do you think we can get Winona Ryder in? Completely different story. It's all about the pencil.
The invention of the pencil.
I love it.
I love it. So now it's 1866. It's during the Civil War. Union and Confederate soldiers are looking for an easy way to write letters back home from the battlefield. Sure, they don't want to carry around an inkwell and a quill. What is the perfect utensil for writing from the foxhole?
A pigeon foot.
A pigeon foot. You dip a pigeon's
I'm really trying to
toe.
make a pigeon foot happen. You cut off a pigeon's leg.
Oh, my God.
And then is that too dark?
Were there a lot of pigeons?
Pigeon Ford.
Okay, no, I'm following you. You cut off a pigeon's foot.
Mm-hmm.
You dip a toe in blood.
Yeah. No, you don't dip. Yeah, it's already, we don't have to.
Oh, you use the blood of the pigeon.
A little pigeon leg would make a perfect, that seems like a precursor to a pencil.
It might be somebody's story, but it's not Joseph Dixon's.
Fair enough.
The perfect utensil for writing letters home from the foxhole is, of course, a pencil. Yes. So by 1866, he had invented a wood planing machine that could churn out 132 pencils per minute.
Wow. Went from not needing pencils at all to able to make unlimited pencils.
Unlimited pencils. He was able to meet the rising demand for his 4-inch long cedar pencils. I love a little tiny pencil, like a golf pencil.
I bet David's happy about that. That means they could make all of these pencils in a minute.
I mean, probably 30 seconds.
This is 1 minute of pencils.
Ooh, that's like a game that we would do in school. How many pencils do you think are in that? And if you get it right, you win a $5 gift certificate to TCBY.
That's pretty solid. I don't know, man, but I wish you could smell this box of pencils, the warm wood.
Hey, hold it up, and then we'll let our listeners guess how many pencils are in that. So if you're watching this on YouTube, or you can go to our Instagram and see a picture of this. So it's about a shoebox size lucite acrylic box. It's filled with an array of pencils of varying shapes and sizes.
There's a few pens in here too.
The winner who can guess how many pencils are in this box, we'll send a prize to.
You will?
Yeah, we will.
Okay.
Okay, I'll commit to that.
There you go.
That's a fun game. Classic game. Very back to school game.
Yeah.
So he has this now rising demand. Finally, the public knows the value of a pencil. 3 years later, just as the pencil segment of the Joseph Dixon Crucible Company.
So this is like 1939 or
This is
1839?
1866.
Oh, we're in 1866. Sorry.
So 1860, 9, 3 years later. So it's still called the Joseph Dixon Crucible Company because that was their flagship product. Now the pencils are starting to perform on the same level. Dixon dies.
What?
57 years after his work with pencils had begun. Isn't that so sad?
Just when it's getting started?
Do you think the stress of the pencils killed him?
It's a widowmaker.
That's what they say about the pencil industry.
It's a widowmaker.
It's a widowmaker.
That's sad.
It is. So in addition to his accomplishments with stove polish and graphite crucibles, he'd also designed a camera with a mirror, which was the precursor to the modern photographic viewfinder. He had patented a double crank steam engine. He had also invented a new method for tunneling underwater, developed a photolithography process used in printing banknotes that was designed to stop counterfeiters, and attracted the prestigious company of fellow American inventors like Samuel Morse and Alexander Graham Bell. So he had all of these achievements, all these accomplishments, all these innovations. He's running in circles with Alexander Graham Bell of the telephone and Samuel Morse of the code. In his mind, his lifelong achievement was bringing pencils into the mainstream.
Well, all I'll say of the telephone, the code, or the pencil, what do I have here with me?
Good point.
The pencil and the phone, actually.
Oh, well, yeah, but would you go across town to pick up a
Free
box
iPhone? Yeah.
Morse code
Morse
machines?
code, maybe
not
not.
as much.
Maybe not.
So he's not at the helm of the company anymore, but as we know, the company marches on. In 1873, the company had purchased the American Graphite Company in Ticonderoga, New York.
Now that makes sense.
Right, a town named...
You know what sucks about this brand?
What?
How hard this Insta egg is going to be.
Oh, this is going to be really
Dixon
tough.
Ticonderoga. What is it?
Well, Ticonderoga is a city in New York, so maybe you could use
I
that.
just use a map.
A map on something like that. It's named after the Mohawk word meaning between two waters, which is Lake George and Lake Champlain. Maybe you could use that in your Insta egg.
Okay.
Pencil production is on the rise. So while he died in 1869, very sadly, by 1872, the Dixon Crucible Company was making a staggering 86,000 pencils per day.
Wow.
Erasers were added to the pencils in 1876.
I was going to ask when the eraser found its way on there. That's earlier than I would have expected. I would have
Really?
thought that would have been in the 1900s.
Interesting. And actually, that does make sense because the little separate pink eraser is so iconic that you can imagine that those two were going hand in hand for hundreds of years.
I wouldn't even have pictured it being that. I'd picture in the 1800s, I would imagine you'd buy like a little tin of like rubbery goo and you pull a little piece out and that will erase.
And you like ball it up and roll it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Well, it's shocking. It's kind of one of those things like how lighters were invented before matches.
I still don't understand that.
Right? Isn't that crazy?
The Zippo was invented before the match. Makes no sense to me.
That will be a really exciting episode someday.
I did
Spoiler.
love an eraser, like those neon erasers that you could add to your pencil.
Oh, like a fun, whimsical one?
It kind of looked like an A-frame house. Like
Oh, yes. I know what you mean.
like
Yeah.
a little triangle one.
Yes. When your eraser inevitably wore down, if you were
No,
prone to
I
mistakes.
put it on pre. I wanted to keep
Really?
my eraser mint.
That is so you.
Keep the eraser mint. Use the neon
You
one.
put the little eraser, you put the pencil eraser in a storage unit to protect it from the elements.
Let's be honest. I never use my eraser because I don't make mistakes.
Believe that. 1913, yellow number 2 becomes iconic. The Ticonderoga pencil was introduced. So the Ticonderoga is a type of Dixon pencil. The pencil was originally manufactured with a brass ferrule, which is the metal part that attaches the eraser to the pencil, but it was temporarily changed to green plastic due to metal rationing during World War II.
Always World War II and the rationing.
It impacts every brand. Some brands soar, some brands sink, some brands pivot like this, but to plastic.
I mean, I know you don't like to beat it over the head, but 1913, it came out in 1913.
Yes.
1 year after the Titanic sank.
So on the desk of the captain, iceberg straight ahead,
Yeah.
if there was a pencil on his desk, which I'm sure there was for making notes and figures about the route, it wasn't yellow.
It wasn't yellow.
We should actually watch the film to see what color the pencil is.
Oh,
because
no.
if there is a yellow pencil in Titanic,
And I have to email Jim and be like, hey,
you might.
I hate to bring this up now.
In the next Blu-ray release of Titanic, you're going to
gonna
have to
make
go in and
that
tinker around.
Yellow pencil green.
That's a really good point. In 1919, they had some fun ads that came out with ad manager John J. Leckie. Got to shout him out by name for his family's legacy. He hired a number of famous American artists to create paintings depicting heroic deeds tied to Fort Ticonderoga, which is the town that the pencil was named after, as well as nostalgic images of the pencil itself. Perhaps most notably, Norman Rockwell painted several ads for Ticonderoga pencils, including a work called His First Pencil in 1919. Norman Rockwell.
He's a favorite of ours.
Gosh, I've mentioned it before. I went to the Norman Rockwell Museum on a leaf peeping tour. I was the youngest person in the museum by 80 years, and it was the greatest afternoon of my life. It is fall. The leaves are brilliant. Orange, red, crisp in the air, cider in your hand, apple in your pocket, and you are looking at a
12
Norman...
apples in your car.
12 apples in your car.
Ziploc bag of Norman Rockwell something's in your back pocket.
I did leave with a jigsaw puzzle. That will be the most splendid afternoon of your life. God, there was nothing better.
Yeah, that is Americana at its
It
finest.
truly is. I love his advertising work. I feel like ads, just like the amount of work and craftsmanship that went into creating a print ad like that. I mean, now it's just like...
It's like old Coke ads too. I mean,
Yes.
they were like painting. They like actually were artwork.
They were artwork. And like they'd be worthy of like hanging like full scale, like 5 by 6 feet in your loft apartment downtown.
Yeah.
You think somebody's going to like put an ad for a Dasani water bottle 6 by 5 feet in their loft?
Dasani, God, no. It's like sewage. It's like your kid's bathwater. That's probably where they bottle it out of your bathtub.
You know, I do have a delivery. I don't know where it's going, but a man comes with a funnel.
Next week, Dasani's like,
bunch of empty
we're
bottles.
introducing blueberry flavored bath or
Did you see
Dasani
the
water.
color of the bath right now?
I can't look at it. It's like
It's literally blue.
the enamels. It's the whole thing. There's like so many toys.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot
Well,
going
and there's
on.
like non-toys. There's like spatulas
Yeah.
and tubs and bowls and,
Yeah.
and garbage. I know. If you
We
have
got to
kids,
keep
you know.
the kids happy.
1943, Dixon sponsored a series of radio ads, dramatic announcements called Ticonderoga's Famous Radio Minute. So they were radio programs that were part history lesson, part newsreel, which is kind of what we do, designed to both entertain and inform. The company produced a total of 53 programs. We're kind of like a radio
Early-
minute.
Yeah, that is very much like us.
I'd say we're heavily influenced by Ticonderoga's famous radio minutes.
I like
so.
that. And this is also, I now just have so many dates constantly going through my head because of this pod.
Yes.
So that's happening 3 years before In and Out starts.
Our dream is to have a master timeline.
It is my God. If any
Yes.
brand freak really wants to tickle my toes.
Because that would be so sad to go, oh, while this is happening, this is also happening across the country. Somebody's
I do that in my
pointing
head.
animal style.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, so right now the chicken at the World Fair, In and Out has just opened their first drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first swatch.
First swatch is
Yeah, I
hitting
know.
the
There's so
scene.
many dates swirling for you. It's really fun.
I'm like Rain Man.
1957, Dixon starts to acquire some other companies to kind of expand what they do. They acquired the American Crayon Company, adding Prang crayons and tempera paints.
Praying?
Prang.
Oh.
I've run across a Prang in my day.
I've seen a
I'm
Prang.
very brand loyal to Crayola, so I wouldn't.
Who isn't?
I wouldn't
thought
sully.
Prang was an overseas crayon.
I think it's just kind of I don't want to say a crappy crayon.
Okay. It's the Hydrox.
It's the Hydrox.
Probably the first crayon.
First,
but not the most famous.
first but not the best.
Yeah.
This is so cute. And I have pictures of this I'm going to share in the supplementals. 1963, for their 50th anniversary, the company created a do-it-yourself pencil kit. I'll show you a picture of this. It is so darling.
Make your own pencil?
Make your own pencil. So it's a metal tin, and the writing in it was like, the instructions are written very like cheekily and they're just like with a sense of humor. So these were sent to dealers, newspapers, and others as part of a year-long campaign to commemorate the pencil's anniversary. The DIY kits are highly collectible to this day. I couldn't even find them on eBay, but I found pictures of them from the Ticonderoga social media where they shared them like from their own personal archive. A metal tin that came with like the paper and then the pencil without the lead in it.
I'm picturing like they just basically repurposed like a 1950s cigarette roller.
You know, it didn't come with like a roller, but it had like the paper, and it said like you put glue or rubber cement on it, and you put the little metal on and the eraser.
That's cute.
And then it came with a ready-made one, and they said like, while you're waiting for yours to dry, here's a fresh from the factory already made pencil. It just looks really cute because it's in like a little metal tin.
I would love
with
it.
the slots for everything to fit perfectly. So darling.
That's the kind of thing you find at an estate sale. And
Oh
you're
my
like,
God.
It's been sitting in a drawer for 75 years.
Sure, because somebody's grandma worked as a PR lady for whatever, the Chicago Tribune, and she was writing a story about pencils.
Their
Yeah.
grandma was Sarah Joseph Hale.
I'm sure she has her sticky little fingers in the world of pencils somewhere. Even if we don't know how she's touched or impacted an industry,
Well,
she has.
this guy's feeling kind of similar. He had his hand in a lot of more things than I would have thought. I'm wondering if everyone listening to this like knew that Dixon was like basically an Einstein.
Yeah, right?
I only ever associated Dixon really with trains.
Yeah.
Isn't that like a big train name?
Well,
Yeah, but I know. We're
There's
familiar with someone in the Dixon family
a
from
family
that.
friend, yes.
Is that Dixon the same as this Dixon?
No, it's a different Dixon.
Oh, different Dixon.
This is like, he didn't come from a lot, and he just was a 13-year-old being obsessed with inventing a pencil. It feels like... I don't know if there's a lot of good inventions coming out of 13-year-old boys these days.
Yeah, but I do feel like at least kids I'm around, like my nieces
They're
and your
crafty,
kids,
yeah.
like they're super creative.
It's like there's a fork in the road. They're either like vaping and making OnlyFans, or they're like inventing and creative. You know, you'll know which kind you have. And if you've encountered one or the other, you can tell pretty quick.
I
which
feel like
they
you
are.
might have gotten one of each.
There's a lot of vape. Is that why the bathwater is that color? Is it somehow like the vape
It's
liquid
just
has
bong water.
dribbled? Maybe.
Oh, God.
By 1982, the company merged with Bryn Mawr Corporation and finally adopted the name Dixon Ticonderoga Company, formally tying the iconic pencil and the corporate entity together. So at that point, it was only Dixon, but they were most famous for their Ticonderoga pencil. So you have to put that in the name of the company. It's their claim to fame.
Oh, my God. I just figured out the Insta egg.
What?
What, can I say it here?
Well, yeah,
Oh,
it'll
yeah.
already come out.
Okay, so what if the Insta egg is...
People
sorry.
might like a peek behind the
This
process.
is how my brain works, because I'm always... And then sometimes it clicks. Okay, this might be perfect.
Okay.
A yellow pencil laying on a map. The point is pointing to whatever that town is.
Ticonderoga.
And then
yeah.
Dixon is scrambled on the pencil.
Oh, great. That's
so then
great.
you get both of them in.
Great.
I love it.
People will either be like, oh my God, this is my favorite pencil, or like, I've solved it, but I've never heard of this place.
I feel like most people
There's a lot
I'm going to
of
have to
that.
help a lot of people in this one, and it's going to shock. Maybe if they, as long as they say pencil, I'll just get it to them.
Hold my calls, Mabel. You're going to be in bed that whole day.
Yeah.
Answering freaks. By the early 2000s, global competition began to disrupt the U.S. pencil making market. Cheaper imports coming from China and Mexico impacted Dixon's U.S. production. And
Computers.
then, of course, the computers are coming in and they're
Yeah.
stealing the share of the pencil market.
I mean, how often are pencils, like, you as an adult, how often do you use pencils?
How often do I use a pencil? Well, every time I'm on the back nine golfing.
Okay, of course. When I play miniature golf.
If I'm in IKEA and I need to write down my choices for the warehouse.
How many mini IKEA pencils do you steal?
Have I stolen?
At least a few.
I steal 3 every time I go.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't use pencils that often.
I don't use pencils that often, says a man sitting next to, I'm going to throw my guess in the ring, 80 pencils.
You think this is only 80?
You think
You
it's
look
more?
at things like this and they do the count, it's like 600.
I don't know. We'll see. Well, I hope everybody gets their guesses in.
I write 1 check a month and that's in pen.
So what are you doing with these pencils? You're just saying you never... In 2002 and 2005, U.S. factories closed in Ohio and Missouri, shifting manufacturing abroad. though a small facility
That's
in
sad.
Georgia remains to maintain domestic status. So they're kind of doing a little workaround to say that they're U.S. made.
Not
Maybe
even for
like,
good reasons. Not like so that there's always like a homegrown
No,
feel.
it's so like
for tax evasion.
9 pencils are made every year in America. And then the rest of them are, and people will say, I mean,
Of course, they're going to say the
quality,
American-made ones
yes,
are the good ones.
Absolutely. Everybody always says the pencils from your childhood are no more. These pencils made overseas, they are, shoddy. They're
looking for the ones that
whatever.
have a little dot under the D, or there's always some code so you know which one you got.
Sure. And then in 2005, Dixon Ticonderoga was acquired by FILA, which is Fabbrica Italiana Lapis ed Affini. Your friend who lives in Italy
Marcia
might know of this. They're in Milan, joining other brands like Canson, Lyra, Pacone as part of a global art supplies group. So now they kind of got folded into this other overseas art supplies conglomerate.
I actually have heard of Canton.
You have?
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
More than Dixon.
Interesting. I haven't. To tell you a little bit about the U.S. pencil market size, you're asking, do people still use pencils?
Here we are, 2025. Tell me what is going on in the pencil world today.
Now, this does include IKEA. This does include golfers.
Okay, so IKEA, if you're not familiar with what we're talking about at IKEA, there's probably 50 stations in your average IKEA that has a little dispenser that has 200 tiny IKEA pencils in it.
Which, by the way, I'm stewing on IKEA because I tried to do their click and collect. Their curbside pickup is normally pretty good. You have to wait maybe like 15 minutes. I mean, compared to if you don't have the time to go through IKEA, which you have to psych yourself up. You have to have Gatorade with you. You have to be well rested. It's not for the faint of heart.
I never go through an IKEA unless I'm with someone that makes me go through it.
But sometimes you need to get something from the other places.
You can get anything down in the self-serve, I think.
No. Little things you can't.
Yeah.
Little things you can't. That's only for the big stuff. Anyway.
Oh, maybe not the dolls.
You can you can't get your dolls.
I couldn't, my octopus pillow.
Exactly. You have to go into the children's department
did.
to get your octopus pillow. I went to do the click and collect, which is very convenient. You order online, you say curbside, whatever, you park in the spot, you tell them what space you're in. And normally it's 5 minutes. And they said I would have to wait 30 to 45 minutes because they were understaffed. I'm like, I'm not going to sit in my car and wait 45 minutes because I'm too lazy to walk into a store. You think a lazy person is going to do that? So I had to go and I didn't have time. I was with the kids. I just turned around and left. I had a pointless drive to IKEA.
Oh,
So
you
sad.
didn't go in?
No, I did. I had my order to pick up. I have to go get it today. It's
You
very
couldn't
sad.
go in and say, hey, I'm supposed to be pick up, but can I just grab it?
No, it would have been 45 minutes.
Oh.
I know. I'm stewing on them a little bit. Pencils at IKEA are there with little paper rulers so you can write down any measurements or write down what number item you have that you need to pick up from the stockroom.
You know who else has tiny free pencils? Lottery.
Lottery.
There's little lottery pencils.
Oh, in a
in
liquor store?
I don't know. I just see them. I've seen them.
You take?
I have one. I don't take a lot, but
A lot. It would be
I'd
crazy
probably
to take a
I
lot.
bet if I see them, I take 2.
I don't take 30. I don't
don't-
empty the whole vessel into my messenger bag. That
I
would
like
be crazy.
a
Obviously
branded
not.
thing.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
sure, I
okay.
want a lottery pencil. Yes, I want an IKEA pencil, of course.
Dixon's share of the pencil market, 50%.
Okay, so $1.5 billion.
They're still the pencil king. Yeah, 1.5 billion is their estimate of their pencil sold.
Congratulations,
Right.
Mr. Dixon.
Their latest revenue reported as of 2024, 730 million.
I'm not complaining. Sounds like I'm getting my Christmas bonus. Better not be a pencil.
Their main revenue sources, the Ticonderoga pencil and the Oriole pencil, which is another one of the Dixon pencils, art supplies, educational tools. They're doing very well. We don't need to worry about them. Don't need to worry about them at all. Fun fact, children's author Roald Dahl. Do you know Roald Dahl?
Of course.
Okay, Roald Dahl. He's well known for his love of Dixon Ticonderoga pencils. He was from the UK. He even had them specially shipped to his home in the UK after discovering them while living in the US. According to one source, Dahl believed that he suffered from writer's block without a Dixon Ticonderoga pencil in hand.
Wow.
He reportedly sharpened 6 pencils every morning before starting to write and estimated that he had been writing for about 2 hours when all 6 needed sharpening again.
That is actually a very fun fact.
Thank you. I thought that was it's even it's a cute fact.
That's much better than if you took all the Dixon I can never say the word, pencils, lined them eraser to tip.
Yeah.
They would circle the moon who cares amount of times.
I thought that was pretty cute.
That's
That's
pretty
it
good.
for Dixon Ticonderoga pencils. I'm curious to hear everybody's thoughts. I'm curious if you're brand loyal to the Dixon Ticonderoga. John, is Dixon Ticonderoga on brand for you?
Let's see. We have an ambitious young boy. We have the use of is it a replenishable mineral?
I think there's plenty.
Is it still even a mineral? Is it now just is it just a man-made thing?
There's plenty. It's graphite, yeah.
It's not like helium. It's not taking away from like heart machines.
I don't think it's used in heart machines.
Okay. Well, I'll need to know before I can fully dedicate. But sure, I'm going to say, is it a hard on brand for me? No. But it's on brand for me. I think it's cool. I like them. I mean, sure. It's like, what's there not to like? No.
Well, it's also classic and iconic in the same way that I feel like the number 2 pencil, the yellow, the green, the pink eraser, there's something kind of almost pop arty about it. If you're a super fan of Dixon Ticonderoga, they do have some very cute merch in their store. They have socks that look like pencils. They have a big throw for your bed, which feels like slightly psychotic. Maybe a teacher gift for a chilly classroom. They have a lot of fun pencil merch, mugs, and things like that.
I would love a 7-foot pencil just leaning up in a corner.
I do see you with a giant pencil. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, on brand for me. What about you? I feel like it's a no-brainer.
It's a hard on for me. I've been brand loyal since I was a kid. I didn't know that there was any other way to be, which I feel like is the best kind of brand loyal. It's like, you don't know Dixon Ticonderoga? I've been uttering these words, since I was in 2nd grade.
I still can't even say Ticonderoga. Well, that is very fun. What a fun second back to school brand. Because now I know I just made it up, but school brands do rock.
They do rock. They for sure rock.
Very fun. Well, thank you very much for sharing. I actually have a couple brand newses because we haven't had those in a while.
Lay it on me.
Today, August 8th, okay, we've already said goodbye. We've had the in memoriam.
Okay.
We went and visited. We went to the closeout sale.
Yes.
But today, August 8th, Nashville, Tennessee, Bed Bath & Beyond Home has a store opening. Bitch is back.
Why?
It is back, and they are accepting the old coupons, which I think is funny because that's going to really show you who is more like me.
That's true,
and didn't throw away coupons for the last 2 years. They said, we thought it would be nice to see like who's so nostalgic for it that they've kept these coupons.
Yeah.
They're now owned by a different company. They're kind of reimagining the store where it looks, from the pictures I've seen, it's trying to look more, maybe a little more cost pussy, like a bigger focus on home stuff it's not just like this whole half of the store is just gadgets. I think those things are still in there, but they're just trying to be a little more modern.
Interesting, because my question is, like what's different now? Like is reimagining the store something the old company could have done, or you really just need like fresh eyes? Because places like that, you can definitely see a difference in the stores that try to put a lot of energy into the shopping experience. And Bed Bath & Beyond had a certain kind of like treasure huntiness that some people like that Aldi, Costco treasure hunty thing where everything is kind of chaotic.
And you're always finding something you didn't know you needed. Like, wait, this does what with eggs? I didn't know that I needed that, but let me try that.
But then there's a conscious effort by some stores where you go in, it's like, oh, they set up a little vignette where, here's the couch with the little side table and the lamp. And like, you can kind of imagine this in your home. It's less about like digging through a pile of rubble to find something nice and more of like it's being presented to you. Like, this is how it would look in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm booking a flight now.
I mean,
see you there.
I wrote to Christine,
Nashville,
who I mentioned.
You said?
Nashville.
They're planning to have fun in Nashville.
I would rock that town.
I'm confident I would also rock that town.
I would be eating pulled pork until my eyes popped out. They're planning on opening 5 stores, I think, in the Nashville area, with plans to open 75 more stores with cities TBD.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So they're going in with a plan.
Great.
We heard it here today. Let's see what happens. And on a sadder note, we won't play the in memoriam music yet because, as we know, we don't know exactly what bankruptcy means. This is the second time they filed for it. But Claire's Boutique has filed for bankruptcy. That is, I don't know if you have any connection. That's where I got my first gay earring. And this was back in the day. If you got your ear pierced on your left ear, you were considered a homo. Right ear was cool. I think I was bold enough to do my left ear, or I did both. both. I don't totally remember.
Both is kind of like you're you could take the right one out if you want to signal that you're gay.
Exactly. Yeah, depending on where you go.
I was in a Claire's a week ago.
Were you?
Yes, it was my first time in a Claire's in a while. And
Was that the same day as the Crocs Day?
It was the same day. It was a
Wow.
big day. It felt a little sad, I want to say. It felt
Being
like
in
the
there?
lights were dark. Maybe they hadn't paid their power bill. Like the lights were dark. It just, there was nobody else in there, a couple employees. We couldn't even really find anything. I mean, I don't know. It was like, I wasn't really feeling like super inspired, especially since so many other stores do that thing, like the fun jewelry, the fun whatever.
Yeah.
No, but the other stores do that so well now that I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if Claire's has a place.
Yeah, you don't need a specialty store to do that at this point.
Yeah, there's so many other fun stores that are just killing it in that regard.
Fair enough. Well, we'll stand by and see what happens to Claire, and we'll cue the music if they decide to dim the lights.
Is Claire Joanne's daughter?
I was thinking that too. I was like, don't be a store with a name right now. Even though Michael seems to be thriving, but that's probably because he's a man.
Yeah, probably. It's a man's world, baby.
I'm kidding, of course. I
Sure.
support all store genders.
Fictional characters.
All right, well, before we go, you know what we got to do.
Give our shout outs.
To our Freaks of the Week. Okay, so just so you know, there is going to be an extra Freak of the Week this week because I got so excited when I was doing the pre-spins. I usually do 4 and then record 1 live. I did 5, so now there's going to be 6 because I was just having too much fun spinning the wheel. If you don't know how you become a Freak of the Week for the pod, every Wednesday on our Instagram story, I post a little puzzle called an Insta Egg. If you solve that puzzle, I will send you a little freak badge to let you know that you got the puzzle right, and I will add your name to our Wheel of Freaks. I spin that wheel 5 times, and every week we pick 5 Freaks of the Week. So the 6 special people this week are Eric Make a Mess, also known as Eric Butterworth. We have Jennifer Branch, which is one of my favorite last names. That's a name that I would always use in improv. If we were doing a soap opera scene, like I would have my first name be Branch, which I thought was such a good soap opera name.
Really good first name.
Trina Rittenhouse, Sandy with an I think it's Sandy Munson, Dallas Witt, and Bean Pit. So congratulations. Thank you guys for playing the Instag. I have a lot of fun making those. And you got to hear today me think of one on the fly. So thank you for solving those. And check out our Instagram feed if you don't, because every week we post a bunch of supplemental materials for every episode that we do. So we'll get to see maybe pictures of Dixon when he was a young lad holding a big cauldron or crucible or whatever he's doing. We'll find out. We'll determine if he's hot or not and all those fun things. So definitely check that out. And if you want to see us, check out our YouTube. We now post all of our episodes full length on YouTube. So you can see what my sweaty body looks like and what Marissa looks like when she's shopping for a thong.
Absolutely heaven. And while we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out some lovely listeners who left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. First, we have Doughhead Man, who says, "This is the funniest podcast, entertaining, but yet extremely educational. Listening to On Brand for a few months is equivalent to getting a master's degree."
Is that true?
I think that it actually does count.
If you go to a school and you're like, hey, I didn't go to school, but I listened to 2 months of On Brand.
You can go straight to PhD. You can skip master's, bachelor's to PhD.
You're in your doctor's office about to have surgery. You look over to see their certificate from the school, and it's just a picture of our logo.
It's like, interesting. And then you go, I'm in good hands.
I'm in good hands.
Thank you so much for that lovely review. If you haven't left us a review on Apple Podcasts, please do that. It helps boost the show. It boosts our spirits. It boosts everything. And you can go to Apple Podcasts to do that. Check out our Instagram at OnBrandThePod, TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast, YouTube On Brand with Jon and Marisa. It's somewhere. Search, you'll find it. If it's me and Jon, you're in the right place,
You're in
baby.
the right place. If you see some sweaty vampire tits, found us.
All right, that's it. We'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we will always be on brand.
Bye.
Bye.
On brand.